Hi, welcome to my channel. I wanted to do my first video on my Japanese vinyl collection, but I've got a pretty hefty collection here. When I collect vinyls, I really try to go for ones that are either ones that I really like from artists that I really admire, that sound really good, I have special memories tied to them, or ones that are on kind of the rarer side, especially if you can't actually find them here in America. There are some very cool record labels that will actually work on licensing Japanese music for America and for the UK. I listened to this once on, I think, Bandcamp like 2 years ago. I loved it instantly. I bought it because there was a link for like $20. The album art's really cool. Huge fan of that. And the album is one of those where it just sounds like what this looks like. So you kind of know what you're in for. The second album will be Chiba Viva La Woman. They're technically a New York band, but considering the two main members are from Japan, I'm gonna call it a Japanese band. There is one super famous song called Sugar Water, which you've probably heard. This was very much in line with the first Gorillaz album as well, where it's very hip-hop, it's very grunge, it's kind of pop. And considering that one of the singers for this would go on to work with Gorillaz on that first album and on G-Sides, you can kind of see where they're all kind of playing off of each other. Birthday Cake is a pretty sweet punk song that can be really annoying, but it slaps, all right? Know Your Chicken is another one kind of in that same kind of vein. So next up, I have Stardust Blue by Kaede. This is actually a collaborative album between Kaede and this other band, Lamp, who are kind of this Brazilian jazz fusion, kind of bossa nova. On their own albums, they actually do their own vocals, but on here, they're pretty much only doing the background vocals with Kaede as the lead singer. It's very short. It's really more of an EP. I think it's only like 25 minutes long, and that's really why I like it, but at the same time, I wish there was a lot more. I had to import this from Japan. Totally worth it though. I've listened to it tons of times. You gotta listen to this album, man. It's pretty good. You might have seen this on YouTube, at least the cover. This is a jazz album from I think like 1968, and it got repressed back in I think 1976, and it got repressed back in 2018. After I think only like 2 other presses before that. Every song slaps. It's very much classic, kind of, I would almost call it like New Yorky kind of jazz. It very much sounds like something you would hear in the background of a movie that takes place in a large city like New York, Chicago. So if you want to find it on Spotify, it's kind of hard. You'll have to actually search via his name in kanji. You won't be able to find it via the alphabet. So look that up if you can. Now we're starting on Toe. I think this is their first EP, or it might be like their second. This is a pretty good selection of songs. It's kind of hard to tell what the order is unless you're looking off of Spotify, which I think I'm gonna do right now. One really unique thing about this is that it was the first EP leading into their first album. Because of that, there are some songs on this that show up on that first album, one of which is called Goodbye. And Goodbye is a pretty amazing song. It's on here. It's sung by one of the guitarists. The only thing, though, is on that first album, it's actually sung with a feature from Asoko Toki, who's kind of like a Japanese pop singer from like late 90s, early 2000s. Actually, I think early 2000s. But it's still kind of cool hearing the guitarist from Toe sing because, I'll be honest, his voice is pretty bad, but it's bad to the point where it's very unique and it very much suits the mood. Here's my favorite Toe album, For Long Tomorrow. Probably one of my favorite math rock albums in general. There's a really cool mood, there's fantastic melodies. Since none of them are really singers, like I said just a second ago, they have a lot of features on here that I feel really help with the mood. And I just love the art too. It's like a sewing factory or something, and it just, I just love all of these strings, you know? There's one song on here in particular, I guess technically 2 songs because it's a 2-parter, called I Don't Hear Mosquitoes Anymore. And what really sucks, and as much as I love this album, as much as I want to say it's a 10 out of 10, the physical vinyl version kind of sucks in that respect because the first song of that, right, is at the end of side A, and then the second half is the first song of side B. You lose that super hard. And I don't know who made that decision, like just swap some songs around or something. It really takes away from the momentum of the album, the quality of that song, but otherwise it's really good. Of course, it's another one I highly recommend. Here we have a favorite in the math rock community regarding Toe. So this album is called The Book About My Idle Plot on a Vague Anxiety, and hopefully by hearing that, you know why I had to be looking at my phone to be able to say that correctly. So this is the actual way the album is situated. However, on Spotify, it has the face like straight up. A lot of the fan base likes to think that this is like the best Toe album. I mean, they're wrong. It's either For Long Tomorrow or Hear You. This one's pretty good. I feel like it can get kind of boring. Metronome, the second to last song, really good. Now we get to another of my favorites of theirs. Like I said, this is their 2015 album, Hear You. There's some fantastic songs on this one as well. My favorites have to be Premonition, A Desert of Human, Commit Ballad, The World According to My Little Wish. That's like a 10 out of 10 song. Probably my favorite, maybe my second favorite Toe song. Time Goes, Good Luck, Because I Hear You is really good. Now we have their EP from 2018. I got this when I saw them on tour. This is only 4 songs. It's Dual Harmonics, the latest number, which got a music video. Far is pretty amazing as any kind of closing song could ever be. It just sounds very final. Yeah, so I mean, if this is how they go out with their career, I'm not really that mad about it. This is like the equivalent of Kanye never making any more music after St. Pablo. It just kind of like that. So Far is a fantastic way to end their discography, and like I said, if they don't make any more, that's fine. I've got 3 other albums that are all fantastic. I won't be complaining about that. All right. So for the final 3, I'm just going to show them all at once, and I'm just going to talk about the band kind of in general because it's my favorite band. So, I mean, it's hard not to. This is the first album by Trico from 2013 called The. Then we've got their 2015 album And. Got their 2017 album 3. They're from Kyoto. That's the singer. That's the original drummer, bassist, guitarist. They've just got really fantastic chemistry. They've got a really cool style. I would say this album is probably more punk. This album is probably more like sort of like alternative rock. And then this is just hard progressive. There's a song called 1819 because that's what the time signature is. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, I would definitely check these out if you haven't already. I think they'll only be getting more popular as time goes on. So hopefully you'll see more from me. No promises, no ETAs, but that's about it.